Question number 101. Consider the following statements. A. Cerebellum is a part of hindbrain. Yes, it's true. And cerebellum helps to maintain body posture and then equilibrium. Yes, this one is also true. So both the statements are true. The answer is C. Next, 102. The medulla oblongata is a part of hindbrain. First one is a part of hindbrain. Yes, this one is correct. 2. Control automatic functions like breathing, heart rate, etc. This one is also true. 3. Rarely motor and sensory signals between the spinal cord and then higher brain regions. This one is also true. So 1, 2, 3 are right. 1, 2, 3 are right. So 102 right option is A. Next, 103. The brainstem is formed by A. Forebrain, midbrain, hindbrain. B. Midbrain and hindbrain. C. Cerebrum, cerebellum, spinal cord. D. Midbrain, pons, medulla oblongata. So here the right option is option D. Next, 104. Match the column 1 with column 2. Column 1, that is brainstem. It controls automatic functions like breathing and then consciousness. So A is 3. A is 3. So the right option will be option C. Cerebellum is for balance and coordination. So B is 4. And then limbic system is for emotions. Cerebral aqueduct is for brain ventricle containing CSF. So the next question, that is 105. Assertion and reason type of the question. Here assertion is cerebral cortex appears grey in color. Yes, it's true. Region, it contains the cell bodies of the neurons. This one is also true. So here the right option is option A. Next, 106. Again assertion and reason type of question. Assertion, association area can carry out complex functions like communication and memory. Yes, this is true. Whereas these areas are completely motor in nature. This one is false because the associated area are not completely motor. Okay, in fact they are characterized by being large regions that are not specifically sensory, allowing them to integrate various types of the informations. So A assertion is right, but the reason is wrong. So here we will go with the option C. 106 is 2 times it is. Let's skip here. Next, 108. From reflex action and then reflex arc. 108. Reflex action is voluntarily controlled response of CNS, involuntary response to peripheral nervous system stimulus. So this one is the right one. Reflex action is involuntary. Next, 109. The reflex actions are controlled by A. CNS, B. PNS, C. ANS, D. both B and C. So here the right option is option A. CNS. Next question, 110. The reflex pathway is composed of afferent neurons only, motor neurons only, D. both A and B. So here the right option is D. both A and B. Next question, question number 111. Consider the following statements. Consider the following statement. Statement 1. Afferent neurons are found close to the sensory organs. B. Afferent neurons carry signals from CNS to the afferent. Select the correct option here. So both the options are true. So we will go with the D option, that is A and B are true. Next 112, that is, which of the following option represents the correct sequence of the nerve impulse transmission in a reflex arc? So here first will become sensory organ. Where is sensory organ? Sensory organ. Next afferent neuron. Next dorsal root ganglia. So here the right option is C. 113. In a reflex arc, what is the role of an interneuron? Interneuron role. It relays impulse to effector at motor ends plate. Next B. It transmits impulse from white matter to the grey matter of the spinal cord. C. It receives impulse from afferent neuron and transmits it to the motor neuron. So this one is the right. Next 114. Among the following listed structure, knee jerk doesn't involve A. Motor neuron, B. Spinal cord, C. Interneuron, D. Brain. So here the right option is option B. Knee jerk reflex is the monosynaptic reflex arc actually, which means it happens automatically without the involvement of the brain. Next 115. In the given diagram of reflex action, identify A, B and then C. What is A, what is C and then what is B here? A is dorsal root ganglia, B is interneuron and then C is afferent nerve. C is afferent nerve. So here the option B will be approximately correct. B, just make it as afferent nerve. Next 116. Assertion and reason type of the question. Assertion: all automatic actions of the body are reflex actions. Actually it is false, because while many of the automatic functions like heart rate and then digestion, they operate involuntarily, can involve reflex arc. So not all the automatic actions are the reflexes. Reason: reflex action do not require CNS. Yes, this one is true. So assertion is false and then reason is true. The D is right. Next one 117. Assertion, that is sneezing in response to an allergen, is reflex action. Yes, this one is right. And then reason, it is an involuntary action. Yes, this one is also right, and it is correct explanation of this one. So the right option is A. Next 118. Assertion and reason type question. In assertion, in a reflex arc, afferent neuron receives signals from the sensory organs. Reason: the afferent neuron relays impulses to PNS in a reflex arc. So here assertion is a false and then reason is also false. Both are false. So let's make D as a right answer and then we'll write it as a false. Next question, that is from sense organs, nose and then tongue. 119. Consider the following statement. The olfactory receptors help us to receive the sense of the smell. Yes, this one is true. The olfactory receptors are coated by mucus. Yes, this one is also true. So both these statements are true. Both these statements are true. So D is correct. 120. The olfactory epithelium is made up of A. Sensory cell, B. Basal cell, C. Sensory and sustentacular and basal cell. So olfactory epithelium is made up of sensory, sustentacular and then basal cell here. Next, 121. The olfactory epithelium neuron transmit the signals from A. Environment to olfactory bulb, one olfactory bulb to another, olfactory bulb to PNS, environment to CNS. So here the right option is environment to olfactory bulb. 122. To which region of the brain olfactory bulb is connected? Cerebrum, limbic system, cerebral aqueduct and then corpus callosum. So here the right option is limbic system. 123. Gustation and olfaction are achieved through. Gustation and then olfaction are achieved through proprioceptors, mechanoreceptors, baroreceptors, chemoreceptors. So here the right option is option D. Next, 124. Consider the following statement. A. Gustatory receptors are found at the base of the tongue. No, because gustatory receptors are not located at the base of the tongue. Actually, they are distributed across the dorsal surface of the tongue. Dorsal surface, okay, primarily within the papillae. B. Tongue detects the taste through the taste buds. Yes, this one is right. So A is false and then B is true. So C is right option. Next question, 125. Assertion: the sense of olfaction is connected with the limbic system. Yes, this one is true. Olfactory bulb is a part of cerebrum. Yes, this one is also true. So both the options are true. Here the correct option is B, because reason is not. Reason is not correct explanation of A. 126. Assertion: gustatory cells get directly activated after being exposed to the dissolved chemical. Yes, this one is true. Reason: 3 cranial nerves carry taste stimulus to the brain. This one is also true. But it is not correct explanation of that. So the right option is B. From the eye, 127. Select the incorrect statement. The socket of the skull containing eye are orbit. Yes, this one is true. The bony cavities in the skull that house the eyeball are called what? Orbit. Next, second one. The wall of the eye is made up of 2 layers. No, this one is wrong because it is made up of 3 layers. Cornea, choroid and retina. So this one is wrong. So here incorrect one is B. Next, 128. The outermost, middle and innermost layers of eyeballs are sclera, choroid and retina. So this one itself is the right. This one is the outermost, middle and then innermost. (129). Consider the following statement. Cornea is the anterior portion of sclera. Cornea is the anterior portion of sclera. Yes, it is true. Cornea helps to refract prevent the light entering the eye. This one is also right. Both are right. So D option is correct. Next 130. Which of the following statement is correct? Cornea consists of dense connective tissue of the elastin and can repair itself. It is actually not having the elastin, it is having the collagen fiber. It's not having elastin, it has what? Collagen. Next, cornea is convex, transparent layer which is highly vascularized. This is incorrect because it is not highly vascularized, it is avascularized, that is lack blood vessels, where cornea lacks blood vessels. Next, cornea consists of dense matrix of the collagen and it is the most sensitive portion of the eye. Yes, this one is correct. Cornea is an external transparent and protective proteinaceous covering of the eyeball. This one is wrong. So here the correct option is option C. Next 131, match the following question. Retina matches with A, matches with that is neural cell. C, sclera matches with the dense connective tissue, and then C, choroid is matches with 1. So A is 2, B is 3, A is 2, B is 3, and then D is 1. Sorry, C is 1. 132th question. Which of the following statement is correct regarding choroid? A, it contains numerous blood vessels. Yes, this one itself is correct. It has no role in vision. It is the major component of the lens of the eyes. It secretes aqueous humor. So here the right option is option A. Next question, that is 133. The ciliary body is the anterior part of sclera, retina, cornea and choroid. Here the right option is choroid. 134. What is the correct description about iris? Non-vascular opaque portion of eye, pigmented opaque and vascular structure of the eye. This one is right. Next 135. The transparent lens in the human eye is held in its place by ligament attached to the ciliary body. Yes, this one is right. Ligament attached to the iris, smooth muscles attached to the iris, smooth muscle attached to the ciliary body. So here the right option is option A. Next 136. An aperture in the front of the lens is called fovea, blind spot, pupil, iris. Here the right option is pupil. This is the opening in the center of the iris that allows the light to strike the lens and reach the retina. Next 137. The diameter of the pupil is regulated by A, aqueous humor, B, retina, C, rods, D, iris. Here the right option is iris because it is the colored part of the eye, that is our eye, containing two types of the muscles that work together to control the size of the pupil, that is circular muscle and then radial muscle. Next 138. How many neural cells are found in retina? 2, 5, 3, 4. The option B is right, 5. It is having 5 neural cells: photoreceptor, bipolar cells, ganglion cells and horizontal cells and amacrine cells. Okay na? Next question 139. The arrangement of neural cells in retina from inside to outside. From inside to inside will be firstly ganglion cells. So this one will be the right. Ganglion cell, bipolar cells, photoreceptor cells. So A is right. 140. Within the retina, the rods and then cones are types of bipolar and photoreceptor cells respectively. Ganglion cells, C, photoreceptor cells. So the rods and then cones are photoreceptor cells. Consider the following statement. A, photopigments are light sensitive proteins in rods and then cones. Yes, this one is true. B, rods contain rhodopsin while the cones contain 3 different types of photopigments. Yes, this one is also right. So here both are true. Next, match the column 1 with column 2. Iris. Iris is for it regulates the amount of light entering into the eyes. Next, ciliary body. It is for secret aqueous humor. Retina. Retina is for photosensitive layer of eye. And then blind spot is devoid of receptor cells. So A is 4. So the right option is option B. Next, 143. The cone cells of retina provide photopic vision, B, color vision, C, photopic and color vision, D, scotopic vision. So here the right option is C. 144. Which of the following statement is not correct? In the knee-jerk reflex, stimulus is stretched off the muscle and response is its contraction. This one is true. An action potential in an axon doesn't move backward because the segment behind is in a refractory phase. This one is also true. C, depolarization of the hair cells of the cornea results in the opening of the machinery gated potential ion channel. This one is also correct. And then whereas D, rods are very sensitive and contribute to daylight vision. This one is wrong, because rods are responsible for the vision in low light. Cones are responsible for the daylight, not the rods. Okay, for daylight, who is responsible? Cones. So this one is the right one. Next, 145. Rhodopsin is the rod cells of retina. Is purplish red protein. Yes, correct. Contains opsin protein. Yes, this one is also correct. And it's actually a G protein coupled receptor. And then third one contains retinine, which is an aldehyde of vitamin B. Yes, this one is also right. So 1, 2, 3 are right. The right option is option D. Next, 146. Good vision depends on the adequate intake of the keratin rich food. Select the best option from the following statement. Vitamin A derivatives are formed from the keratin. Yes, this one is right. The photopigments are embedded in the membrane disc of the inner segment. This one is wrong. Photopigments are embedded in the outer segments, not the inner one. Retina is derivative of vitamin A. Yes, this one is right. And retinal is a light absorbing part of all the visual pigments. This one is also right. So following statement, best option here, it is A, C and then D is right. A, C and D is right. So the right option is C. 147. Which of the following option is wrong? eye muscles are attached with sclera. Yes, this one is right. B, visual purple is concerned with the dim light while the visual violet is concerned with bright light. Yes, this one is also right. C, the color differentiation is done by cones. This one is also right. So none of them are wrong. 148. What would happen if the three photopigments of the cone's cells are stimulated equally? No color vision and daylight vision would be produced. Sensation of the black light would be produced. Sensation of white light would be produced. Mosaic vision of the different colors would be produced. So here the right option is option C. 149. Photosensitive compound in human eye is made up of A, opsin and retinal. Yes, this one itself is right. 150. Consider the following statement. The optic nerves and blood vessels enter the eyes through blind spot. Yes, it is true. B, blind spot contains abundant rod cells but no cone cells. This one is false. Blind spot is called what? Blind, because it lacks all the photoreceptors. It contains neither of the cones nor the rod cells. So this one is wrong. A is true and then B is wrong. B is false. The right option is A. Next, 151. Select the correct statement. Macula lutea is a red colored spot at the entrance of optic nerve. Correct. This one is wrong actually. The macula lutea is yellowish, not the red one. Okay, it is which color? Yellow color. Next, fovea is the central portion of macula lutea containing abundant cone cells. Yes, this one is right. Correct statement is B. Macula lutea is the only structure of retina which contains rod and then cone cells. No, because both rods and then cones are found throughout most of the retina except the fovea. D, no true image is formed at fovea due to the overlapping of the photoreceptor cells. No, it's wrong, because the fovea is actually the point of greatest visual activity, that is acuity, where the sharpest image is formed. Okay, so here 151 right option is B. 152. The point of greatest visual acuity is in human eye is, just now we discussed, that is fovea. 153. Consider the following statement. The aqueous chamber containing aqueous humor is found in the space between the lens and then retina. A statement is actually wrong, because aqueous chamber located in the space between the cornea and then lens, not lens and then retina, cornea and then lens. Next, B, vitreous chamber containing vitreous humor is found in the space between the lens and then cornea. This one is also right, because here lens okay but not the cornea, it is retina. So this one is also wrong. Both the statements are wrong. So both these statements are false. Both A and then B are false. Next, 154. 6. How does the potential difference generates in the photoreceptor cells when light of a suitable wavelength enters the human eye? Enters the human eye. A, light causes chemical modification of the rhodopsin and then iodopsin, so they form a new compound. Next, light causes the conversion of the opsin to retinal And then C, light causes dissociation of opsin and retinal so as to cause the structural changes of the opsin. So this one is right. Next, 157. The route of transmission of the action potential by optic nerves to visual cortex of the brain is photoreceptor cells, bipolar cells, ganglion cells. This one is the right. 158. Assertion and reason. Sclera and cornea form the fibrous coat of the human eye. Yes, this one is true. Sclera and cornea contains abundant blood vessels. This one is false because they are avascular. So here the right option will be C. 159. Assertion: the posterior region of the eyeball possesses the points of the no vision and maximum visual resolution. So here this one assertion is true. Fovea contains abundant rod cells but lack cone cells. This one is false. So the right option is again C. Next, 160th question. Assertion: neural impulses are analyzed by visual cortex of the brain. Assertion is true. Reason: image formed on the retina is recognized based on the earlier memory and experience. This one is also true, but reason is not correct explanation of assertion. So the right option is option B. Now next questions from ear. The structural component of external ear is A. Pinna, B. Pinna and auditory meatus, C. Pinna, auditory meatus and then eardrum. This one is right. 162. Consider the following statement. Fine hairs and wax secreting glands are found in the skin of pinna and auditory meatus. Yes, this one is true. Pinna and auditory meatus are vestigial organs of the human ear. This one is false because while the muscles that move the pinna are considered vestigials in the humans, the pinna and auditory meatus themselves perform essential function in the collecting and changing the sound waves towards the eardrum. So this one is wrong. So A is true but B is wrong here. Next question, 163. The wax secreting glands in auditory meatus is A. Weber gland, B. Ebner glands, C. Cerullimus glands and then Krauss glands. So here the right option is option C. 164. The membrane found between the outer and middle ear is A. Basilar membrane, B. Reisner membrane, C. Tympanic membrane, D. Tectorial membrane. So here the right option is option C. Next, 165. The outer and inner surface of the tympanic membrane is composed of. It is composed of A. Connective tissue, mucous membrane outside and connective tissue inside. D. Connective tissue inside and then mucous membrane outside. So here the right option is option D. Next, 166. The middle ear consists of ear ossicles, cochlea and labyrinth. C. Auditory meatus and tympanic membrane. D. Ear ossicles and cochlea. So here the right option is ear ossicles. Match the following type of question. Column 1 with column 2. A. Auditory meatus. It is actually for conduction, vibrations and tympanic membrane. So A is 2. A is 2, only one option is there, that is C. So here the right option will be C. By one correct matching only you can answer almost. At least you must know 2. 168. The arrangement of ear ossicles from outer to inner ear is stapes, malleus, incus, incus stapes and malleus, malleus stapes and incus, D malleus, incus and stapes. So here the right option is, he is asking outer to inner, so malleus, incus and stapes. Select the correct option, that is incorrect statement here. The stapes is found attached to the oval window of cochlea. Yes, this one is right. Ear ossicles increase the efficiency of the sound wave transmission to inner ear. This one is right. Eustachian tube connects inner ear to the pharynx. This one is wrong because Eustachian tube connects to the middle ear, to the nasopharynx, not the pharynx. And then last, Eustachian tube helps in the equalization and pressure on either side of the tympanic membrane. This one is true. So which one is incorrect means C is incorrect. 7th one, 170. Consider the following statement. The fluid filled inner ear has two parts, bony labyrinth and membranous labyrinth. This one is true. And the membranous labyrinth surrounds the bony labyrinth in the inner ear. This one is false because in reality what happens, this one is false actually. Bony labyrinth surrounds the membranous labyrinth. So here A is true and then B is false. So the right option is option A. So these all are the questions for today's session for the discussion. That is, we discussed almost 170 questions. So if my video is helpful for you, please subscribe my channel and share my videos and like. If you have any suggestions and if you have any issues with my videos, please drop your message in comment box. Thank you.